We're going to go over, do you really fear the Lord? Just fearing of the Most High God. I think a lot of our problems will be solved if we just simply magnify that part. Right? Magnify the fearing of the Lord. It's something that we all can need. As a matter of fact, that's kind of the things that I want to put in rotation when we go out to the streets, highways and byways. That's one of our topics of discussion is fearing the Lord. If we simply feared the Lord, again, a lot of our problems would be taken care of. We have shyness of what others may think or others may say. Let me get this scripture where it talks about how Sarah calling Abraham Lord. Like that right there, like we just know just if that question was asked across the board in America, how many of our women would call their husbands Lord today? That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't, they wouldn't dare do it. Go ahead, we got it.
1 Peter 3 and 6. It says, for after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement.
And are not afraid with any amazement. That's something that our people, a lot of our women actually would probably follow the scriptures a lot more if they was afraid of their family. A lot of our brothers would follow the scriptures more if we weren't afraid of what other people say. I'm kind of nothing wrong with off the spirit. That's what people normally do, and that's good. Let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know you not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates.
Know ye not your own selves? Don't you know your own selves? We're supposed to examine ourselves. And the greatest thing that any of us can do is to be honest with ourselves. How we move, how we think, how we really loving towards our brothers and our sisters. Do we really want to be obedient to the Most High God's laws? Do we honestly follow the Most High God as best as we can? No, we can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we using certain things as an excuse? This is examining ourselves, using those very serious, critical questions. We know in Sons of Jacob there's a courting phase, and in courting phase we definitely encourage brothers and sisters to ask questions that are very hard. Take the time to think about and ask those really hard and difficult questions, because you don't want to overlook those things just because you have a feeling about this person. You got to really prove a friend and examine yourself, right? So this is the wisdom that the Bible has given us when it comes to, do you really fear God? Are you really moving in the best of your ability to the Most High God? Whatever He says to do, are you really doing it? Is that something that we're honestly making an honest effort into doing? Right? The bravest thing anybody can do is to be honest with themselves. And sometimes you need to be in a quiet space to do that. To take the time to really reflect on who you are, right? In this body, in the body of Christ. Let me get the book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Malachi, let me read that. Matthew chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 34. Shalom, shalom.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
So hold on just a second. That's something that needs to be examined. Christ said, to think not that I've come to send peace on earth. A lot of times when we get into a lot of different debates or discussions, or even just with our family members, sometimes we have to think, He didn't come to send peace. He didn't come to make, because that's just, college ain't for everybody. everybody, as much as they push college in schools, they don't want everybody to go to college, because if everybody was a doctor or a lawyer or a judge, who gonna be a janitor? Who gonna clean up? Who gonna take care of? Who gonna cater? You see what I'm saying? They don't, as much as they push it, they don't want that. So, the Most High God, He's only calling a certain few. If not, this whole place would be packed with people. He's only calling a certain few people. So we gotta stop thinking that we gotta try to include everyone, because it's not for everyone. It's not for us all. It's not for everyone. But read it again.
It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
We know what a sword does. Go ahead.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother,
Right?
and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
So this is really harsh, like to hear. A lot of times, I know preachers may even speak on this and touch on this when it comes to their congregation Christianity, but we know what it really is going into. They didn't behead apostles and kill them gruesomely because they were just saying peace, peace, and love, love to everyone. They were saying things that people did not want to hear. Stephen was saying things that was so true and so honest that was hitting people to their core that they were covering their ears and trying to speak over him. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't want to hear what he had to say, because it was hurting them. The truth hurts. And this is why it's important to be honest with yourself. Again, the bravest thing any of us can do is to be honest with ourselves. Are we really fearing the Lord like it tells us to? What is the Bible? What does God really want from us? Not what someone else wants from us, but what God wants, right? So we got to really have a self-examination, examine ourselves. Don't you know yourself? We got to really examine ourselves. Let's keep going. Oh, wait, so read verse 35 again.
Verse 35 says, For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother.
Can we look up that word variance? When he gets to do it, it's on behind.
So the definition of variance, the fact or quality of being different, divergent, or inconsistent.
Different. So he came to bring a difference between the father and the son, the mother and the daughter-in-law. He came to bring a difference. We know today that difference is very prevalent in America. We see a lot of Hebrew Israelites that are making a move to set themselves apart from their families, regardless of whether the families like it or not. You know, they may say, hey, you know, we work, you're not celebrating Christmas, you're not doing birthdays. That's that variance. That's looking different. That's being different. That's being set apart, being holy. So these things are necessary. Necessary. This division is necessary because, again, the Most High God is not calling everyone. He's not wanting everyone. He's only wanting a certain select group of people that are bold enough to stand up for Him, for righteousness, that are strong enough to submit to the order of the Most High God. That isn't easy to do. It may seem like it is, but again, you have to go against, and a lot of y'all sisters, brothers, y'all are young. So to follow this role is bravery, and that is a brave thing that y'all are doing, and that's good. And so just commend y'all for doing that and moving in that spirit. That's a beautiful thing at such a young age. Let's keep going though. Verse 36.
Verse 36, it says, And a man's foe shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Come on, we'll stop right there. So that's says a lot. That's pretty powerful to speak on. If you love, I know I spoke to someone before when I first came into the truth. And she did not understand that. That's just something that she's never heard and she never understood, and she was just crying hard because she didn't get it. She didn't understand that you're supposed to love and follow God more than you would your own mother and father. That was very hard for her to get to grasp, but when you get the understanding, as a matter of fact, can you give me, what is that, Psalms, 111 and 10, where it says, roughly paraphrase, it's been a while since I brought it up, it says, they that do the commandments have more understanding. What's it, Psalm 111 and 10?
Yeah, it's,
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 111, and verse 10.
Mhm.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
That do his commandments, that do his commandments. You're gonna have a good understanding when you apply the commandments of God. You'll see, oh, this is why he wanted us to do this. This is why, you know what I'm saying, like this is the actual love of God. I mean, I spoke about the love of God when I came into the truth, but I didn't fully see it until years of doing it. I was like, wow, this is the love, this is actually love. And then you gotta pull it out to show people, this here is love. This right here is, let's see, Deuteronomy 25 and 5. Let me get that real quick. Deuteronomy 25 and 5. This is the love of God. You know, a lot of people may not know it or may not see it, but this is in the law, and the law is actually perfect. And this is what he wants us to do. And believe it or not, this is love, and this is mercy of the Most High God. Deuteronomy 25, and I believe we can start at 5. Yeah, let's just read it.
brother.
Yeah.
Look at Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 5. It says, if brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, and that his name be not put out of Israel.
That's wrong. So that his name be not put out of Israel. This is what the love of God looks like. The man is being taken care of that passed away, that didn't have a child, and the woman is not being left as a widow, and she's being comforted and taken care of in the tribe, in the community. She's not going into some other foreign. There's safety there, there's security, there's familiarity right there. You know what I'm saying? So this is the actual love of God. Now this is going to seem strange to people in the world, but this is part of what the love of God looks like. And this is a lot into this too, in this law right here. It didn't say that who knows that the brother that took the wife has a wife already.
Right.
It didn't explain that. You see what I'm saying? But this is the love that she's not. I don't want to go into it. But this is the point. This is the point. This is the love of God. So let's go back to Matthew chapter 10. And this is just so that his brother name be not put out of Israel. So he's not forgotten. He's left a legacy. Personally, speaking as a man, every man wants a legacy. Every man wants a son that's going to carry his name. That's going to, let me get that scripture in Sirach, you know what I'm talking about? Where it says he leave his one as unto himself.
I think it's Sirach 4:17.
Sirach 4:17, you know what I'm talking about? This is what a man desires, man. This is I can't necessarily speak for every man, but I'll say men in general desire to have this.
Sirach 30 and 3. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
He that teaches his son grieveth the enemy. Go ahead.
And before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Mm-hmm.
Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead.
As though he has never even left. The father is still alive because he's the successor of his father. He's taking the office, his steps. He knows who his enemies are. He knows who his father's friend is. He's just picking up, and it's just a continuation of that lineage. It just keeps going. That is a beautiful thing when it comes to a man. Now we know here in America we've taken on a lot of customs of the other nations, to where, believe it or not, they're comfortable with not having children. But in our custom, that's something that our women and our men desire very much. They desire it so much that
Say it. Just say it.
it's just a hard topic for a lot of our women, man.
Just say it.
But they desired the children so much that they brought other women to their husband.
Yeah.
This is how it works. That's we wanted that lady. Thank you, sis. They kept leading to it, No, appreciate it.
Yeah, it goes into Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 22 and verse 6. Proverbs 22 and verse 6. And it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So just the way, same thing is going in Sirach. The son is getting trained by the father, so when they get older, they learn that, okay, these are my enemies. This is how I'm supposed to, talk. I know that I'm an Israelite. I know I gotta follow the laws of the Most High. So now I'm going to be prosperous. When my father died, they're gonna look at me as he never left. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to bring that up.
Lord willing, I did a lesson on this in Women of Wisdom just last Thursday, and I really enjoyed bringing this lesson out about children and just teaching them. Just that scripture that he brought out basically was the backbone of the lesson. And one of the things that the last two scriptures I think we brought out was part of the backbone, but we don't do that here in America. But coming back to our culture, this is what we're going to start to lean more towards. Basically, what am I saying? I'm saying, if anyone ever seen the movie King Richard, Venus and Serena Williams, I don't know if y'all have seen that. Good movie. Play it. No, I'm just playing. It's a good movie. The man was brilliant. He had a plan for Venus and Serena Williams before they were born. I had no idea what they would look like. He had a plan laid out before they were born, right? Because, of course, we know raising up a child in the way they should go is going back to the law, statutes, and commandments, but also it's having a plan for them before they even come onto this earth. And a lot of us, speaking for myself, go to jobs, not knowing, I'm good at everything, but I don't have nothing specific that I'm focused on. I'm just kind of touching on this because this is just a really good lesson for me. I really enjoy this lesson. I got grandkids, right? So I like this lesson. But having a plan set out for them before they're born. A lot of people may think in America that this may not seem right. They don't have a choice or an option. But how many of us are out here jumping from job to job looking for something to do? That because we're so good at everything, what are we, if we had a job laid out for us that our fathers and our mothers had before, we would be successful in. We put forth all our strength into doing that. All of our gifts and talents would go to that one job. What is it? Let's take one of the lowest jobs. I think y'all brothers would work with me. $5,000 a week as a janitor. I didn't even put forth all my strength into doing that. I put forth some strength into doing that. That's a good job. I'm not hurting. Who cares about the title? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but if that happened, train up a child in the way you should go, they're not going to bump up against that. They're not going to say, hey, what about that job? What about that job? They're going to focus on the job because they think that that's what they're supposed to do. I talked to a lady, she was from Crete. She was a Crete older lady. She said that she was raised traditionally. She said that being raised traditionally as a Crete woman, she said that the men had complete dominance over every decision that was made. I said, how did that make you feel? I actually have it recorded on my phone because I wanted to record it, because that's what I do is I take the people that need to be taken to doctor's appointments. She said, I didn't think nothing about it. I just thought that's what was supposed to happen. That's just what's supposed to do. But how many of our women would think, have complete he's dictating everything. That's not right. But she didn't think nothing about it. She said she thought that's what was supposed to happen. So, also, now I'm just talking about jobs just for that instance, but what about arranged marriages? If an arranged marriage, I got videos now talking about how they were happier, and they've seen studies to where women are happier in arranged marriage. So it's just something to look at. You know what I'm saying? Training up a child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they will not depart from it. They're gonna keep teaching. My grandmother was in an arranged marriage, and she loved him so much that even when he passed, she never remarried. She had a wedding ring, never. You know what I'm saying? She just loved him so much. So, just saying, it may be something for us to think about, coming back to our heritage. Getting back to the topic. Let's go back to the book of Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10. And let's pick back up at verse 37.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 37. It says, "He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Go ahead.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
Mm-hmm.
He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Come on.
He that receiveth you receiveth me,
Mm.
and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me."
So the point of me bringing this scripture out is just to show that don't be afraid of following Christ, because he actually has a purpose for your life. Your life has more meaning and more value than an average person here in the world. Actually, anybody in the world. This is the best job. What did Captain Moore say? This is the best job on the planet. This is the #1 job on the planet. So, let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Our whole duty and our whole job is to do this. It's fearing God and coming back to his law, statutes, and commandments. So when you ignore everything else and come back to these laws, your value is going to be increased, and you're going to be loved from the Heavenly Father God. Everything that it says, no eye have seen, no ear have heard what the Father has in store for you. Everything that you desire here in America, cars, big houses, nice jewelry, taken care of, looking presentable. I mean, it talks about the promises of the Most High God is amazing. How our bodies are going to look. It goes to how, it talks about everything. There's not going to be no stench. We ain't got to worry about stench. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we're going to be taken care of. There's going to be a natural, sweet odor to us. We're putting a cologne. What fragrance is that? You don't have to worry about that anymore. You have to go buy expensive clothes. You know what I'm saying? Expensive jewelry no more. So the promises the Most High God have for us is far beyond what we can even imagine. That's what it's talking about. So we're going to be very well taken care of only if we fear the Lord first and focus on him. Not let anything else sway our judgment and our understanding. Go ahead and read that.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Yeah.
For this is the whole duty of man.
This is the whole duty. This is the whole job that you were created on earth. To fear God and keeping his commandments. This is the whole purpose that we was created. Let me get Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Malachi 3:16.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, in verse 16, it said, "Then they that fear the Lord spake often one to another."
What did he say?
Then they that fear the Lord spake often one to another.
If you truly fear the Lord, you shall speak often one to another. Go ahead.
And the Lord hearkened and heard it.
And he hearkened and heard it. Go ahead.
And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord and that thought upon his name.
And that thought upon his name, man. How precious is that for the Heavenly Father God to see the love that we have toward each other when we speak often one to another. Those of us that fear the Lord, that is that holy convocation that he's talking about. This is what we're supposed to have as brothers and sisters. Speaking often one to another. This is our whole duty as men and women in the nation of Israel. This is what's going to make us valuable in the sight of the other nations. If we perform these laws, statutes, and commandments, wearing our fringes, our tassels, head coverings consistently, doing these things no matter what, who thinks of what, You have no idea how many jobs I have left, but this is our wisdom in sight of the other nations. You gonna get that?
Which part? What's the side of the nation?
Deuteronomy 6:24. Did you have something?
I wanted to talk about that because
I'll get Malachi again. Deuteronomy 6:24.
we do be scared of what other people gonna have to say because of, you know, what God is asking us to do. Because we live in a different time than, you know, the Bible is written. So nowadays it's frowned upon if you got on fringes or you just gonna look weird. But the apostles loved the Most High so much that they died. They didn't care what other people thought. They died for the Lord. Whatever the Lord said, or whatever the Lord said, do, that's what they was gonna do. To the point where they even died for it. You know? So how much more should we wear our fringes and not care what people say? You know what I mean?
We gotta get past that embarrassment of our culture. If you got people that are from New Zealand and they're going to the courthouses of the United Nations and they're performing their culture in public spaces, and they've got their mouths and their tongues open and they got their face painted, they're showing no fear of their culture. Why not you? Why not you? Why not you? You are created in His image. You are there's something so much in you there's something so valuable in you and you notice that He chose you above all people on the face of the earth. You know how powerful us as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are. We are very good at what we do. We set trends. We make it look good, so why not make it look good? They're doing it, why not you? Set your trend in your culture. That's something to be pleased with. Why not you? You see what I'm saying? He chose you. He said that He saw something in you for you to do it. He didn't call your friend, your brother. He didn't call everybody else. He called you to do it. So that's something for us to look at and think on. Start representing your culture. People need to see that. As a matter of fact, thank you, sis. Let me get Jude chapter 8. But go ahead and get what I want earlier. Jude chapter 8, and I think it's verse 24.
Do you want me to start at verse 24, 25?
24.
24?
24.
Verse 25.
Let me see.
Righteous.
No, 24. See that?
Okay.
Let me see. I might be. Where's 24? Yeah, that's what I think this is read both of them.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 24. The Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good
For what?
always. For our good always.
For our good always. It's for your good always. That's the point that I wanted to make. Go ahead, finish it off.
That He might preserve us alive as it is at this day.
So it's for our good always. It's for us to be an example, not only for ourselves and for the other nations, but for the brothers and sisters that's not doing it now. You are the ones that He chose to make this look good. You are. You see what I'm saying? Read that. You got that?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what's good. That's right here.
Okay, listen.
The book of Jude, chapter 8, and verse 24. Now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend on us.
It says, let us show an example for our brother and our sister because their hearts depend on us. You are the ones He chose to set an example for. You are. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to represent Him on earth? If you represent Him in the best light, that's what pleases Him. If you don't put forth all your strength to represent Him, it can lean towards breaking other commandments. All right? Is that it?
It said, now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend on us. And the sanctuary and the house and the altar rest upon us.
So everything rests upon you. They're going to hold what you do, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. They'll be like, oh dang, that's what they do. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. That's spiritually what that is. If you do it in a bad light, you could be taking the Lord's name in vain because you call yourself an Israelite, you dress like an Israelite, but you do things that are not pleasing to the Most High God. And when you do that, that is taking the Lord's name in vain. And He will not hold anyone guiltless that does that, right? So we're supposed to do it in the best of our ability, in the best light that we're supposed to, the best strength, the best of our ability. That's what we're supposed to do. So everything rests upon you. How you ladies represent your culture, how the men represent our culture, keeping our beard, making sure we wear our tassels, fearing God in the best of our ability, this all rests upon us. They're gonna look at you as the pillar, as the standard, right? And they're gonna judge it based off of that, which is good, which is righteous. Right, let's get 1 Corinthians 11 verse 31, speaking about righteousness, because it all goes back to being honest with yourself. It all goes back to the bravery of us if we are honest with ourselves and how we're supposed to do that. It tells us to examine ourselves. But let's get 1 Corinthians 11, 31 through 32. Go ahead.
It says, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged.
So if we judge ourselves, we're supposed to be judging ourselves. We're supposed to be examining ourselves according to the laws of God. Judging yourselves, we will not be judged. Go ahead.
It says, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord.
We are chastened, we are corrected, like a father would a son, or a child, or a daughter, right?
That we should not be condemned with the world.
We will not be condemned with the world if we do this. If we examine ourselves and judge ourselves according to the law. Do I got my fringes on? Check. Do I got my beard? Check. Do I got my hair? Like, am I keeping the Sabbath day to the best of my ability? Check. That's you judging yourselves. So keep it up. Keep doing it. Keep examining yourselves and judging yourselves. Because if you don't, then the condemnation will come. Well, you will be taken with the rest of the world if you're not careful. Right? So there's no, when you get into, Lord willing, we get this judgment academy taken off from Son of Jacob, that you start to understand that there's not a physical law necessarily on every law, but there is a spiritual law. There's a spiritual judgment. There's not a physical judgment with every law, but there is a spiritual judgment to those laws. Let's say if I stop wearing my fringes, I just stop wearing them. What is the physical judgment? It could be left up to the judge or the priest, but technically throughout the scriptures it's not. But what is the spiritual part of it? Because they are a remembrance for us. If I take them off and stop wearing them, I will start to forget. That's the spiritual judgment. You see what I'm saying? So there's a spiritual judgment when it comes to your head cover. There's a spiritual judgment when it comes to, there's a physical judgment when it comes to eating pork. You know what I'm saying? So these things are necessary for us to know. So these judgments are here for us to help us and keep us. And they are here to make sure that we fear the Lord, because fearing the Lord and learning his judgments is wisdom. As a matter of fact, let me get 1 Kings chapter 3. 1 Kings chapter 3 in verse 28, looking at King Solomon. I was trying not to bring out so many scriptures, but I wanted y'all to see what God has to say about these things that I'm saying. Yeah, verse 28. So we know here in 1 Kings chapter 3, King Solomon has made a judgment call off of his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding when it came to the women that had an issue with that child. They were trying to, they were correlating, they were going back and forth about this child being theirs. And let's see what the end of this chapter has to say about King Solomon.
That's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 3, and verse 28. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him.
They saw that the wisdom of God was in him. They saw the wisdom, the judgment of the Lord. They feared him. And this is actually what's going to happen on earth when those of us that keep the law, statutes, and commandments, they're going to fear us like they did before. They actually did fear us at one time on earth. And that fear is going to come back. They're going to fear us like they once did. But it says what? It says, which the king,
which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment.
So they saw the wisdom of God that was in him to do judgment. Because the wisdom of God was in him, they feared him. Which leads me back to, let's get Psalms chapter 111, verse 10. Psalms chapter 111, verse 10. But they feared him because he had the wisdom of the Most High God. Right? And the judgments of God was in him. You knew exactly, because if you judge based off of your own understanding, you're gonna have a tendency to not judge matters right. The punishment don't fit the crime. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say? Bias. Exactly right. So, and that's what it leads to, is bias, being biased about certain things. So you start to lean onto your understanding. We know in Proverbs chapter 3, it tells us not to do that because God's judgment is right in his sight. So whether we think it is or not, he's the ultimate judge, and that's all that matters. But let me get that again.
Book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
Mhm.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Mhm.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? I'm kind of going. I'm really okay. I'm gonna cut this a little short. So let me get Psalms. Since we're in Psalms already, Psalms 119 and verse 120, because I want to show you that when it comes to the fear of the Lord, it's not necessarily talking about. It's not always just talking about reverencing him, respecting him. And it is respect. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that it's more to it than that. And I want to show you that. It's in every sense of the word fear. It's in every sense of the word. When he says to fear him, it's in every sense of the word. And listen to what King David has to say in Psalms 119 and 120.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 120. My flesh trembleth for the fear of thee. I am afraid of thy judgment.
Con, that's not how the Christian church would teach it. He's literally fearing and trembling of his judgments. That's a real fear. That's not just, I respect it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I respect it. No, that's an actual fear and trembling of his flesh. He's really afraid. He's terrified of the Most High God. This is that fear that we're talking about, because that puts it on a whole other level, a whole other platform than just, I respect him. Right? Yeah, you're gonna respect him. You ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? So that fear looks physical. It's a physical fear in every sense of the word. Let me give one more example in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 20 and 21. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 20 through 21. Give you one more example.
It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 20 through 21. Verse 20 says, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness, which beholdest from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose thorn is inestimable.
It's like you go.
Whose thorn is inestimable,
Whose throne?
whose glory may not be comprehended,
Mm-hmm.
before whom the host of angels stand with trembling.
The host of angels do what?
The host of angels stand with trembling.
They stand with trembling. The host of angels stand with trembling for the Most High God. Right? So the angels tremble in the front, in the face of the Most High God. King David trembled in the Most High God's judgments. Please, for your sakes, fear the Most High God with trembling. Not just with respect only, but with trembling and fear. Sincere. Take the time out to examine yourselves. If you got to go into a room in silence, do that. Take the time. It's going to benefit you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really get into it and really dig into these words and these scriptures ourselves. Let me get a few more in the book of Sirach, chapter 19. I want y'all to hear what the book of Sirach has to say about the fear of the Lord.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Can I get Sirach chapter 1 and verse 21? This is just
That's what.
The book of Sirach chapter 1 and verse 21. It says, the fear of the Lord, it driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. So you actually being afraid of what the Most High will do to you, not just a sense of respect like that, the Most High cool. Actually being terrified of the Most High, that's going to keep you from sinning, right? And it says it turns away wrath, that's going to keep the Most High from being angry with you. That's going to save you a lot of trouble in life.
Good stuff. Sorry, chapter 19 and start at verse 18. Sorry, chapter 19. I'm gonna start at verse 18.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love.
Read that one more time.
The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him,
Mhm.
and wisdom obtaineth his love.
So the first step to be accepted with the Most High God is to fear him, right? And wisdom is what holds his love. It obtains his love. So if you want the love of the Most High God, if you want to feel it, if you want to experience it, you want to see it in your life, fear him and keep his commandments. That's going to bring forth the wisdom and his love of the Most High God. And people are going to sincerely see that. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you a little story, an example of, this goes into a lot of different scriptures too, if you are familiar with the Bible, but told, because a person, I'll say myself, because it was me, I know the laws of the Most High God. Brothers, okay, so I'm trying to put this the best way I can without putting ye in it, and I might just have to. But, brother coming back from prison, and he's clean, and he's doing good, and he's been doing good for a while, but he had a bad reputation. Now, how should I treat him? My feelings, I don't want to treat him good because of all the bridges that he burned. My flesh, myself, my thoughts don't want to treat him good. But according to the laws of God, I'm still supposed to honor him. The Most High God saw him to be the firstborn son in this family. I still have to respect him as the firstborn son. Now, he's not going to tell me to sin. As long as you don't tell me to sin, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? We cool, we good. I'm still supposed to respect him. And me telling him this brought him, he saw the love of God in me telling him this. Out of all the things that I did wrong to you and to everyone else, you still love and respect me? Yeah, because God told me to. And this is how he told me to do it. You see what I'm saying? Knowing the laws of God will bring forth, and it will show the love of God to other people. When you know his laws, statutes, and commandments, it shows your wisdom too. So this is just a small example of keeping his laws and what it can do. You know what I'm saying? It can bring a brother or sister into this truth just like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to know more about those laws, man. Because if it brought honor back to me, tell me more. What else do I need to know? You know what I'm saying? I want to experience his love, and I want to tell other people about his love, that law, statutes, and commandments. You see what I'm saying? So, just a quick example. Let's stay in the same chapter, jump down to verse 19. But wisdom obtaineth his love. Go ahead.
Verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life,
Mm-hmm.
and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Bingo. That's, what is that, Revelations chapter,
21.
you know, you get that? Was it 21, 14? 12.
I think it's right on which one.
I think that's what I want too. Let's see. I think it's 21.
You want the tree of life?
Yeah.
Let's see, man. Let me see. Let's see, man.
21, 14.
Which one you want?
I think so. What you got?
217.
Let me get 21 and 14 first.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 14. And the wall all of the city had 12 foundations.
Sorry, I'm sorry, 22 and 14, my apologies. 22 and 14.
Oh, yeah, that's what I love. The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in it. It's like it may enter in through the gates into the city.
So blessed are they that do his commandments, not know them, but do them, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates. Right, they may enter in through the gates, right? So let's go back to Sirach, so 19, because it's speaking the same language. Sirach chapter 19, verse 19.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 19. The knowledge of the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
So this is what Christ was saying. He said, the young man came to him and said, how do I get to the, what is it?
The kingdom.
He said, the young man came and said, he said, how do I get to, I'm just trying to paraphrase what I'm going with.
Yeah.
So I get to the kingdom, the kingdom.
Shall I do that I may enter into eternal life.
Eternal life, that's what it was. And he told them to keep the commandments. Same thing. It's all saying the same thing. Sirach 19, Revelations 22, Christ. Keep the commandments of God. That's what's going to get you into the kingdom of heaven. Keeping the commandments of God. This literally, like I'm telling you so much, I'm telling you with everything I have in me, that you need to be around brothers and sisters. It's not that, it's really not an option. If you can be around brothers and sisters, it is vital because there's things that you don't really experience. You don't get to exercise when you're by yourself. If you're by yourself, you don't really get to exercise the fruits of the Spirit. When somebody gets on your nerves, I'm tired of seeing him. How am I supposed to behave? You're not getting tested. You're not growing. When you work out a muscle, you're breaking it down. You're testing it. It's the same thing when it comes to your character. The majority of getting into the kingdom of heaven is character building. You see what I'm saying? It's character building. So if you're not being tested, how are you going to behave when you are tested? When I came to the truth, there's things that I didn't struggle with, but now I struggle, or I have struggled with. I really have struggled with. But because I wasn't really tested and I wasn't aware of that test, I didn't have a problem with it. I could ignore it. I was going with evil instead of against it. Now I'm going against evil. So when I'm around brothers and sisters, I'm tested with jealousy. I'm tested with anger. I'm tested with bitterness. I'm tested with frustration. I'm tested with those things. And how should I behave? Should I be more? It's teaching me how to be a better brother, better sister, in your case. You see what I'm saying? So it's important because what he's saying, the two greatest commandments are what? Fearing God, keeping his commandments, and loving thy neighbor as thyself. As thyself. As yourself. Those are the two greatest commandments. If you know how to love your neighbor as yourself and fearing God, that's the biggest, those are the biggest ones. But if you don't ever test yourself or prove yourself or challenge yourself, oh man, it's like, I got some video on that. Go ahead.
Sometimes, and also saying in the scripture, if you don't love your neighbor, then you don't love God. Because you see your neighbor every day, but you ain't never seen God.
That's 1 John, what, 4, something like that?
And how can you love the neighbor if you ain't never around the brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is going into why you should have brothers and sisters around your corners. I'm gonna go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. What till you get there. Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. It says, two are better than one because they have a good reward in their labor. So it's better to have a brother in your corner because if you're doing it by yourself, it can be a task, it can be hard. When you got a brother or sister with you, they can pick up the slack. I'm gonna continue reading. Verse 10 says, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe unto him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. So it's best to be around brothers and sisters so they can help sharpen you when you're lacking that. If you feel like you're going to be tempted, you can have brothers and sisters to hold you accountable. That's why we need brothers and sisters in this truth to lift each other up. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the world be like, I'm gonna do it alone. I'm gonna, get it out the mud. This is what you hear. But at the end of the day, it could be twice as fast and much easier and much peaceful if you have another brother and a sister to help build you up. That's why it's best to have unity. That's all
Hey, just speaking off of that point too, because two is better than one, if you'll have one to lift you up. So how much more, like, some people may not ever get a chance to work on building someone up. Or, hey, what is that? You know what I'm talking about when it says in Sirach, in the G&T, it says that kind words are better than, you know what I'm talking about?
Sound familiar? Sounds familiar.
Yeah, can y'all look it up? That's better than, gifts or something like that.
It's, I think it's Sirach 18 to 17.
Sorry, 18, okay. It's in the G&T, yeah. So you don't ever get a chance to work on building someone else up. And you look good to that, like, and really genuinely mean it. You know what, like really genuinely meaning.
They got it.
Really genuinely meaning to build someone up. Like, lifting someone up and working on those words of encouragement for other people is a gift that you can give, and that can be accounted for alms, even if you don't have something, right? Go ahead, bro.
It says, the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 17, in the G&T, it say, yes, kind words are more effective than the best of gifts. And if you are really concerned, you will give both.
So kind words are better than the best of gifts. But if you really consider it, you will get both. It talks about someone's eyes not sparkling. What is that? Can you go up a little bit? Just let's start with verse 15.
You said start at verse what now?
Verse 15. Oh, yeah. It's at verse 18. Yeah. Go ahead.
It is stupid to be unkind and insulting.
Uh-huh.
No one's eyes are going to sparkle at a gift that you resent giving.
Right, so even if you give somebody, let's say I got you a new Tesla, brand new, sparkling, your favorite color. I got the keys right here, but I'm saying hurtful words to you. Bro, hey, next time, man, hey, listen, brush your teeth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Say
Get your
something.
money up,
Get
man.
your money. I'm tired of, bro, being around you, man. You're gonna be like, man, if I really want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of keep that. You know what I'm saying?
He kind of throw it at you.
Yeah.
It's fine and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? You're not really, your eyes are not gonna sparkle at a gift that you give, so it's better for you to say kind words when you give a gift, because kind words are just gonna affect your spirit more. It's gonna stick with you and last with you longer than a tangible thing will. Tangible things decay. They go, they don't stay forever. But those words, you're gonna always remember what someone said to you, how your eyes look, how your nose, your hair, your lips. They're gonna saying kind words, whatever it may be, is gonna stay with you a lot longer than that card. So it's good to work on saying kind words, right? But being around brothers and sisters, you'll have that experience to be able to do so, or at least that opportunity to be able to do so, right? Let's go back to the book of Sirach. We're almost done. Sirach chapter 19, and we can pick back up on verse 20.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, and verse 20. Fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
All wisdom is the performance of the law. The only thing the Most High God is concerned about, the only wisdom the Most High God is concerned about is the wisdom of the Bible, the laws of the Most High God. Let me get the book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. He don't care how many degrees you have. Those are good in other areas. But the only thing that matters to him is if you're keeping his laws to the best of your ability. That's all that matters to him. When we meet him, he's not concerned about the money, the cars, the houses, the degrees that we have. He cares about how obedient you are to him. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6.
It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
You forgot what?
Thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children.
You can forget your whole bloodline. Just because you've forgotten his laws. Because you've forgotten to be brotherly. There's people that's going to be taken, they're going to be in the same category as the enemies of God, even though that they are Israelites. They're blood Israelites because they're not keeping God's laws. They're going to be in the same category as the enemies of God. They're going to be destroyed right along with the enemies of God because they're not keeping the wisdom, the laws of the Most High God. You do not want to be an enemy of God. There's some terrible stories of people that are the enemies of God, where they're walking corpses. Their flesh is falling from their skin. This is in the Bible. There's maggots coming out of their belly. This is in the Bible.
You can see that. You can see that today still.
Yeah.
If you look for it.
Yeah.
It's people that's getting alongside tearing people up like that right now.
I've seen this dude, he raised up his lip, he got maggots coming out of his teeth. Like, he's made himself an enemy of God. And this is not what we want to do. When that lady, she's pulling out a parasite out of her eye. You know what I'm saying? Those people have made themselves an enemy of God simply because they have forgotten the laws of God. They have left off from keeping them. They have made themselves an enemy. He didn't create you to be an enemy, but people have made themselves an enemy of God. All right, was that it? All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to Sirach. And let's finish up on Sirach chapter 19, verse 24.
24.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 24. He that hath small understanding and feareth God is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High.
He that hath small understanding and feareth God is better than one that has much wisdom and transgresseth the laws of the Most High. So with the little knowledge that we know of the Most High God, and if you fear him to the best of your ability, is better than those that have much wisdom and breakdown. I got all the breakdown. You want to know something? I can tell you about the trees, the insects, the mountains, the water. I can tell you what it spiritually means. I can give you all the knowledge and wisdom. It's better, the small wisdom that you may have, and you fear the Lord, is better than that person. Right? So this is what we need to focus on. Fearing the Most High God. Do you fear the Lord? Right? Keeping the fear of the Lord and the most priority of our walk in this truth. Don't let this go in one ear and out the other. Don't let this just be just another lesson. Please fear the Lord. Please fear the Lord to the best of your ability. So with that, y'all brothers got anything else? I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. Shalom. Shalom. Thank you all for having us.